which were centers for higher Brahminical learning, provided access to all castes, and a lot of Vaishnava scholars themselves came from non-Brahmin caste groups. Now this is quite significant that education had opened up for lower caste groups as well. There were problems which I don't discuss here in great detail, but the problems with ritual reading and writing. So you couldn't do it in public, you couldn't do it in functional roles, but no one could stop you from reading and writing within your own homes or within your own social groups. So it isn't as if people were not literate, they were not allowed to declare publicly or take up public roles to do with education. And a lot of manuscripts found around that time in Bengali, either written as original or as copies. You will find that the scribes are lower caste people. And they're Vaishnavas often, but sometimes not even Vaishnavas. But the fact that this literacy was much more widespread beyond higher caste groups is very evident for all to see. And this is crucial. Unlike writing in Sanskrit, writing in Bengali was open to all. And that is where the critical difference lies. Irrespective of caste status, and inspired an active scribal culture. Almost anybody who could write an elegant hand was considered eligible for the job of a scribe, and scribes were much in demand. Dinesh Chandra Sen, the late 19th century Bengali scholar and manuscript collector, traced some fine 18th century calligraphy to individuals from the lowest castes, from the lowest Shudra, milkman, and washman castes. Authors as well often came from these non-Brahmin groups. Although Vaishnava religious literature forms the bulk of these vernacular manuscripts dating from this period, most of it was written neither in Bengali nor Sanskrit, but in Brajabuli, a vibrant colloquial which was a mixture of Bengali and Maithili, which is a dialect of Mithila in Bihar, as you would know. But there were Bengali manuscripts as well, but if you look at the Vaishnava scholarship, if you look at the Vaishnava scripts, that is what dominates. Bengali was the language of predominantly functionally literate, lesser clerical and commercial groups, as well as poor low-caste masses. The more demotic profile of the Bengali readership spawned a variety of early literary genres based on rural local ballads and religious cults. I don't know if you're aware, but we have a lot of Mangal Kavyas in Bengal, which are very much associated with these kind of texts. The texts were invariably rhymed, as I was saying, and adhered closely to the spoken form of the language. Most such poetry of the period was composed in poyar, which are rhythmic couplets of 14 syllables, so that there were two couplets each time that will match as this is being written. Or tripodi, which is a lengthened form of the couplet, being divisible into 3 parts or meters. It was read or often sung to the accompaniment of musical instruments in public performances. Kathakatas, or Kathakotas, which were collective narrative sessions where religious works based on Hindu religious epics and mythology were read out by professional Brahmin narrators or Kathaks, were in great demand during the period and survived as a legacy well into the print age. These texts were Brahmanical in spirit and content, and almost invariably done in an ornate style of composition with resounding alliterative sounds and words and elaborate metaphor. But when you read them out, and I'll give you a lovely extract from the time, when it was read out ritually in a performative manner, no one understood, because it was so high sounding, it didn't relate to everyday language that was being used. So somebody had to explain it to the audience in another session. So one session was just ritual reading, and there was another session where this was being explained.